Hello, folks. My name is Vandip Pandey. I am a Azure developer lead. So I would like to welcome you all for this introduction to cloud native apps on Azure. So yeah, today we will be learning the what is a cloud native app, how we can develop that, and what are the architecture for the same. So yeah, let's begin with the session. Yeah, uh, thank you so much for joining in. Yeah, just a second. I will present my screen. Okay. Yep. So welcome to Azure Dev community. Yeah. What will be the today's agenda? Our agenda will be like something kind of this, like okay, we'll be first taking the introduction to Azure community. After that, prerequisites to cloud native. What are the like prerequisites to learn about the cloud native? What we have to like know. So when we are go with the cloud native paradigm, what kind of stuff we already know to learn the thing in a very easy manner. So yeah, that's the thing. Third step will be the like the what is a cloud native app, what will be the architecture for the same. We'll be learning for that thing. Okay, and the last part is a Q&A. Yep. And meanwhile, if you have any doubt or query, feel free to share on the like chat box. I will be keep eye on that. Okay. And meanwhile, if any question is there, I will be taking that. And if any question will be to me, there will be like a Q&A session dedicated. So yeah, I will try my best to solve the queries. Okay, so let's begin with the session. So first, what is Azure Developer Community? So yeah, Azure Developer Community, it is initiative from a Microsoft corporation to upskilling the college student to know to give them a knowledge and give them a cutting edge technology benefit to grow in their career. Yep. So yeah, what is like Azure is a cloud platform that is giving us more than 200 plus services in the cloud uh, definition, or we can say designing and like a dedicated end-to-end providing a service via the security, scalability, global access, hybrid cloud, and the flexibility. We can say in like a simpler word. Apart from that, what we can do using the Azure or a cloud services, we can do the business analytics, mobile services, application, CRM, SharePoint, website. So we can do the all thing more. We can build the application, run the application, and the manage application in the across the cloud platform itself. So that's a great thing for us. Okay, so let's jump deep dive into the topic today's. Okay, so what is the topic? The introduction to cloud network apps on the Azure. So yeah, okay. Anybody has any idea about what is a cloud native? What is a cloud app or Azure? Anybody has any idea around that? Okay, what is a cloud? What is a cloud native thing? Anybody? Third party apps. Yeah, Nero. It may be a great try. Other folks, if you have any idea around that, okay, what is a cloud native? What is a cloud or a simpler apps? It maybe works for all things for us. Okay, so let's jump into the topic. What is the cloud native apps? So we can say the cloud native apps. The word consists that it's tell that okay, cloud native. If we like break down the words, first is it is a cloud, second it is the native, and third it is the apps. So first let's understand the what is a cloud. Okay, so let's go with the cloud. So yeah, we can say cloud. It is the technology or we can say services that provided by any cloud provider, third party company. It can be it can be Microsoft, it can be as sorry, AWS, it can be a Google or any other cloud provider. The what kind of services they provided? They provided mainly three kind of services: IaaS, PS, and SAS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a services, PS stands for platform as a service, and SaaS, SAS is it's equals to um, software as a service. So what is the IaaS, PS, and SS will be the go in the like deeper manner. So if like in the conventional manner, we work with the on-premises services. So what we are doing in the on-premises, we as a person or entity, we have to take care about all these 7 8 points. It can be the application, data, runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization, server, storage, networking, all these kind of stuff that will be the managed by the ourself or a single person or a company entity. But if we go for a infrastructure as a services, so in that part the infra part will be the managed by the vendor or a third party company. It can be Microsoft, as I mentioned ago, right? So what kind of thing that will the like managed by ourselves. So in that part we will be the managing the OS. Okay, what kind of OS we are using, like we are using Mac OS, Windows OS, which kind of servers we will be using for the same. Okay, so that will the main part of that. Apart from that, we will be the taking care of the middleware, runtime, OS, data, application, that kind of thing will we will be like taking care of that. Okay, we will be taking of this kind of technology. So yeah, that will be the main part of the things. Just a second. Okay, yeah. In the PS platform as a services, we will be the like go in the deep dive. Like we, the only part is that okay, the end user will become with their application and the data, and the like main thing is that the application and the data is there. On top of that, the application will be working on that. Okay, in the SaaS, what in the SaaS will be do in the software as a services, all the things will be managed by the vendor. So on that thing, we can say this kind of technology, we can say it is a partially cloud native kind of thing, because in the cloud native is that your application will be run, or we can say built in a cloud platform, and it is run in the cloud platform. So yeah, we will be only using their microservice, using their low code no code tool, any kind of their services, third party company services, and we will be building our product on top of that. So that is the main thing of the that is the main thing. Okay, let's like when I am saying like what is the infra, what is a platform, what is a software, so you have to know around this thing. Okay, what is the infra? So it is the storage. When I say infra, it will be the consist of the storage, networking, server, all the kind of infrastructure, or we can say hardware kind of thing, that is comes under a infrastructure. Apart from that, what will be the platform? The platform, it is the thing on which our application will be running. It can be the simple vanilla server, or it can be the anything means the like on top of that, on that layer, our application will be running. Which kind of thing will be there is a operating system. It may be Linux, it may be Windows. What will be the middleware kind of the software, which and any kind of software that we need to run our application. On top of that, on runtime things, that is Docker or Kubernetes, anything maybe there on, and the software like our data and the our apps as well, that we can consider as a software. So yeah, apart from that, what will be our role and responsibilities for the same, to manage the infrastructure as a service, or a software as a service, or a platform as a service, or our dedicated on premises, that is we are using from like 5 7 years ago. So yeah, here is you can say that in the on-premises conventional method, all the things will be like managed and run by the our single entity or a company. But if we go for a infrastructure as a service to software as a service, the responsibilities will be go down in a very good manner. So yeah, that's the services there. Okay, now let's deep dive into the what is the cloud native and how we can build the application on the top of that. Okay, so that is our conventional method. You are using on the premises, we using the Windows and the relational database, and there's some kind of framework that will do .NET, because that inherently the developed by the Microsoft, that is a very useful technology, we can say. Apart from that, if we go for from a cloud perspective to from on-premise to we go on the cloud. So right now we will be using the Azure and the virtual machine from the Windows like operating system. And when we are in the conventional method, we are using the relational database, but here we are using the SQL query languages, or a KQL, that is a KQL query language. It is inherently developed by the Azure for like managing the server and like work with that. Yeah, so that's the thing is here. And here we are following the monolithic architecture. What is a monolithic architecture? We will be soon understanding that thing in the upcoming slide. So yeah, and the entire architecture is there from or like now we can say from a cloud infrastructure we are running our application on top of that cloud part, but now we have to optimize the things. So we are for optimizing things, here the comes the scalability kind of thing. So for the scalability, what we are doing for the scalability perspective, we will be using the Docker or the container technology or orchestration kind of thing. So using that, we can orchestrize our application and run in a very efficient manner, right? And the last part, our session is today on the topic that is a cloud native. The cloud native is a platform as a service, we can say in the simpler word. What the main two things are there? That is a serverless technology, because we didn't bother about the where the server is there, what are the infrastructure is there. So yeah, we didn't bother about that thing, so we can say that is a server technology. And the microservices are there. So the two things is there. When the server is there and the microservices are there, so that is the mainly two part, we can say that. Okay. Okay. Okay, and what we'll be using, the some cloud things like the Azure function is there, DevOps is there, Kubernetes is there, cluster is there, AKS is there, functional app is there. So we are using that kind of services for managing cloud native infrastructure. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Let's go ahead. Yes, what we can do with the Azure, we can understand that we can use a virtual machine website development, AI, ML, cutting edge technology. We can do that in a very similar word. So, like, what is the cloud model? Yeah, that is not part of our season, but yeah, we have to know what is a cloud, because when we go for this kind of thing, we have to know like, okay, what is the cloud computing, what is the main thing is there. So yeah, we have to know that what are the cloud modules are there. So mainly there are three model. Is one is the private, second is the public, and the hybrid. As the name is suggest, we can say that it's a private cloud. We can say that that is fully managed by the third party company, right? Right. And sorry. Okay, sorry. Private cloud. Okay, the private cloud is managed by the single entity. There will be no third-party company intervention. Yeah, the control in part of, okay, security kind of things. So that at the place we have a more security, greater level of control from Azure AD to what kind of privileges we are giving to end user or some direct user. So yeah, that is a great part of the thing. At the same time, if you go for a private cloud, at that place we have to set up all the infra, and we have to like think about things. Okay, what kind of web application we will be using, what kind of OS we will be using. So for that, the cost will be the higher. That is damn sure that the cost will be the higher. If we go for a public cloud, so right, what will be the in the public cloud? So in the public cloud, the services will be managed by the third party company. It can be in the third party company. So what public cloud, it is a built or a control and the managed by the third party company cloud provider, and we can access it via over internet. If you like settle in Australia or India or any other country, you can access that and you can use it, because it is a publicly available. So via your credential and login ID, if you have a subscription, you're good to go with the cloud services. And what is a hybrid cloud? Because nowadays the security part, it is more like, I can say, the mainstream line topic nowadays. So for managing that kind of thing, we will be using the hybrid cloud. What is hybrid cloud? Our application will be running on the public cloud, and our database will be on the private cloud. So we can secure the things as well, and extra layer of security, we can say, is there. So we can easily manage that the thing. Okay. And what is the cloud native applications, right? So from till here, if you have any doubt or any query, please let me know. Share here. Okay, I wait for like just 30 to 40 seconds if anybody has any query. you have any doubt, feel free to share here. Okay. So I think nobody has a no query or no doubt. Okay, let's like start with our concept now. Okay, so what is the main concept? The cloud native. What is a cloud native thing? Okay, so first we will be go with the main thing. It is like just a second, just a second. Okay, yeah. So, as per the Cloud Native Foundation official documentation, or we can say official definition, is that cloud native technology empower organization to build and run scalable application in a modern dynamic environments such as the public, private, and the hybrid cloud, containers, service mesh, and the microservices, and with the immutable infrastructure and the declarative APIs amplifies the approaches. So what that is means they consist of, that is in simpler word we can say we are using the cloud, we are using the container, we are using the service mesh, and via this we will be running the application on top of cloud platform. Okay, and what we can use by this technology, that is a technology, it is a loosely coupled. So in inter module we can say communication, it is a very low inter-module communication, it is a very low, but intra-module, in the one module or in a one microservice, the communication very will be the very huge. So we can say that if the one module is the like a low, or if we can't like approach it, it is like a like some due to some issue it will be the failed, so the application will be running in a very good manner. So we can say by what is a loosely coupled, so we can say that is a loosely coupled. The intra module communication will be the very high, but inter module communication at the same time will be the very low. Okay, the system will be the very resilient, or we can say manageable, or observable. So we can say it is, we can use the technology in the very good manner, and at the same time that we can use some automation using that. So we can, it can be the robust automation, or automation, we can say that. Okay, so yeah, it is a cloud native. So in the cloud native, what we can say, what kind of things are there at the cloud native? So we can say that in the cloud native infrastructure, there will be the automation, backing services, containers, modern designers, microservices. So yeah, this all topic will be the covered in the very few minutes. So yeah, okay. Done? Okay. So existing .NET modern application kind of architecture, what kind of architecture we will be using? So yeah, as we saw this the existing app, the virtual like sorry, the OS is there, the bare metal OS is there, but if we go for the cloud, we are using some kind of virtual machine, and there's some inbuilt applications. But if you have to optimize that, we are using the containerized technology. And if we go over a cloud native, we will be the develop our application in the cloud, and deploy our application in the cloud, and the up and running application in the cloud. So all from beginning of the application development to deployment of the application to run of the application development, all kind of thing will be done in the cloud itself. So yeah, that's the cloud native part. Okay, what are the traditional monolithic design. Okay, we'll be seeing that that is a client application, and the like a app or a web, we can, in a simpler word, we can say that via mobile application or a API, we will be the calling the identity and the catalog and the ordering basket marketing, or the like some kind of small services we are using that. But if the any one module or any one functionality will be low, we can't able to access that thing. So that is the main, I can say that that is the main issue with that thing. Okay, we can't able to manage it. If the one service is like a fail, we can't able to access that in a very good manner. Like our application will be not running at that place. So that's the issue with the thing. Okay, just a second. Okay, yeah, okay. So let's see the what is a cloud native design. Yep. So in the cloud native design, like we see the conventional design, okay, like what is the conventional thing is there, but yeah, we can just a second. Yeah, traditional, this is a monolithic architecture structure. But what the cloud native suggests, what kind of design that is suggested by the cloud native, right? So cloud native suggests a design kind of thing like this is like end user will be there. We are using some API gateways, and we are break down our services in the very small parts, in a small chunks. We are break down their services. Okay, like for buying this the card using, we are using this small kind of services, like we can say in the sorry, um, micro services are there. So we are like cut down that thing in a very smaller chunks part, so that is a very easy for us to manage the things in a very good manner. So yeah, okay, so we will be like break down that thing in a very smaller part. So why we can use the monolithic architecture, and as the same place we can use the microservices as well. So what is the modern design for the same? So yeah, for the modern design, we will be like see the what is a 12 factor app, or we can say 12 factor .NET. So yeah, that is the main thing that we have to use for efficient architecture. So just a minute, I will be share my screen and give you the brief around that stuff. Okay, okay, minute, share screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Yes, the same place. So yeah, meanwhile, if you have any doubt or any query, feel free to share here. So yeah, folks, if you have any doubt or any kind of query, please tell us. Okay, it seems like you do not have any kind of query. Okay, let's begin with the session. Yeah. So okay, so the 12 factor, that is the key part of that the cloud native kind of thing. We can say that okay, this is a cloud native part. Why when we can say that? Okay, so for the thing, the 12 main factor are there. That is the main key concept using that we can say that okay, this application it is cloud native or cloud native application is there or not. Okay, so first it is the code base. So what the single code base is, there is only and only single code base, and there will be didn't any kind of other like a two code bases or a single code base. So at that place we can say that the database will be the only single database, and we have to use that in the like vs enable, that is a version control system enable, and we can deploy as many as in that single code base. The code base will be the like a single code base. Okay, second thing will be the dependencies. So yeah, what will be the dependencies? The application will be the isolated from another environment, or we can say the application or one microservice, it is isolated from another environment. So that is a good thing for one cloud native application. If one functionality will be the down, as the same place the second functionality will be the up, we can use that is, it is the good manner. So yeah, that is the good architecture practices for deploying or developing the cloud native application. So yeah, third, it is the backing services. What are the backing services? We will be so that in the upcoming slides. But for here, what will the backing service is a like configuration file. We can manage that from outside infrastructure as well. So if we want to change any kind of infra or that this kind of services, we didn't want to like changes in the YML file. We can do that from outside infra as well. So that is enablement, that is given by the, we can say 12 factor, the 12 factor it is give that kind of things. So that is a 12 main key concept of that thing. Okay, we have to follow or manage that kind of thing. Yeah, that's the cool stuff around that thing. Okay, so what will be the processes? Okay, the service bus or the event up should manage the always 100% up. So on that place we can tell that okay, our application will be the 100% on the like availability will be the 100% nearby 100%, so all the people can use that application in a good manner. Okay, what will be the port binding? So in the port binding, we are using the CSD pipeline and some kind of artifacts, right? Artifacts we will be using for the build, release, and the run. So what is the main thing? It is we are building the application on the top of that. We are running that application on the top of that, and at that place the like a build, release, and run. All the application will be running on that single button. So that is port binding, we can say. Concurrency is scale out via process model. Okay, so what we can say of the, if there is, if you want to scaling up the infrastructure, we can easily we can say scaling up the infrastructure as the same place. If we want to scale it down, feel we have that kind of visibility, or we can say agility to do that in a good manner. So that is one key concept that we have to follow while we are developing this kind of technology or a cloud native application. Yep. So yeah, now we will be moving further with we can say disability. So yeah, what the main thing it is that we can say that the particular port it is there. So from that port we can easily access the application. So yeah, for if we say for one application, the endpoint will be there, and the on that application will be running on this some specifically port number. So yeah, that's the thing it is that. So right, okay. Apart from that, the we are managing that. Okay, the horizontal scaling, it is a more efficient than the vertical scaling, because as we discussed that there will be the single code base. So for doing that kind of thing, we are using the horizontal scaling kind of thing. Okay, okay. And right now we are like on the ninth point, we can say that the startup time will be the up. So for that the port binding or a concurrency will be there. We can at the same place n number of user can use that and deploy the application on top of that. Okay, And when we say logs, so what will we see in the logs? So logs will be the generated the end effect of that. Okay, the 10 people are using our application. What are that when the another server will be deployed, when the scaling up technology will be there. So that kind of thing will be there, and on top of that, we can build the dashboard on the same place in the from giving to information to end user. We can do that, and the last, it is the admin process. So what is the admin process? The admin process, it is we can say that is independent to the dev process. So admin can't access that application. He can see that there is a dashboard of that. Like it is independent of the dev environment. So that is the admin process, and the like we can say that admin can work the independently on top of that. So yeah, and that's the thing. Okay, let's go with the slide. Okay, that is the main 12 factor app. While we are going with the we can say uh, infra or cloud native app development, we have to follow the 12 factor app. Okay, the next thing, it is the Azure file architecture framework. There is a one framework is there, and we have to follow that framework to build application in a good manner. Yep. So yeah, hello Nishit, how are you? Yeah, hello Nishit. Yeah, okay. Yep. So let's start. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Here it is the main Azure architecture framework. What kind of main key concepts are there? That is a design principle, as your well architecture reviews, as your advisor, documentation, right, partners and the support and the service offering, and the refers the architecture. That is the mainly we can say six part of the main Azure well architecture framework. And what is the main thing is the reliability. The our application will be up and running from 100% time. The end user can access that application. End user can use that application in a very good manner. And as the same place, we have taken care of the cost optimization, because at the end of the day we have to pay the bill of that thing. So we have to knowledge about that thing. Okay, how the we will be deploying the application, what kind of architecture will be there. So on that place, we can cut down some cost at the same place. That's a main key concept of the thing that we have to keep in mind while we are developing the cloud native applications. Yeah. Operational excellence. Okay, some person has the operational excellence in the person is not with the microservices. What are the monolithic architecture are the, we'll be the see the what is the microservice, what is the monolithic architecture, what is the backing services in the upcoming slide. But yeah, that is the key point that we have to keep in mind. Okay, security as the same place. Okay, the performance efficiency, that is a key concept that is matters a lot while we are developing the cloud data applications. Okay, that is a we can say that is a five key pillars on that the application are running. So what is the cost optimization, as I mentioned, the operational excellence, performance efficiency, reliability, security. This is the my I can say five key concepts. Okay, what is the microservices? Microservice, it is a cloud native system. Embrace the microservices, a popular architecture style for constructing a modern application. So microservice, it is a simple kind of thing. We can say that it is a services, but it is divided in the small chunks. Let's suppose the one application is that is doing the editing part, or like we can say that. Like the application is doing the more than four tasks. So for that deploying that four part in a single function, we will be the cut down that thing in the four part and deploying that is in the independently. So let's suppose if there are if our one application will be the uh, okay, if one application will be the down, we can use that. um, we can use that and work upon that thing. Okay, so simply we are distribute that in some smaller chunk. So why we can use that monolithic versus the microservice architecture. What is architecture? It is that we will be seeing. So yeah, In the monolithic architecture, or we can see in a conventional architecture, we are using the service tier, web tier, and the data tier. It is if the, let's suppose in the service tier our application one feature is not working at the same place, we can't use the service tier whole, because at that place the whole tier it is like non-use for us. If any like we can say any kind of error occurs at the same place, we can't able to use that. But as the same place we are using, if the microservices the same feature, at the time that there will be the some error at the place, but yeah, uh, at that place only one functionality will be the not working, another two will be the up and running. So that is the main thing we can say, that that is in the microservices we are using the if the three feature is there, if the one feature is not working, two feature is up and running, we didn't bother about the one feature, it will be up and running after some time. In the automation process it will be the running. But if we are using the monolithic, there is no kind of automation is there, and there is no kind of the divide the service in the smaller chunk. So that's the thing. Okay, apart from that, yes, yeah. This is the application code. So how our application code will look like. So in that we are using some kind of framework. It can be Go, Node.js, Python, .NET, Java, C#, PHP, any kind of we are using that framework. On top of that, we are using some cloud services, that is a server to server inconvenience, and invocation, the stage management, publish and subscribe, the building, the artifacts, the actors, so the observability, the health check, health management, event hub. uh, so yeah, this is, we can say that some kind of microservices we can use is some kind of um, inherently given some features by the, let's suppose the we are using the event driven any kind of application. Azure web app, Azure static app, that kind of technology we are using to deploy this kind of technology, right? And the for hosting we are using the Microsoft Azure, AWS, GCP, many cloud are there, so mainly we are using the Azure for the deployment purposes. Yeah, using the container with the Cloudnative application. What kind of container we will be using for the same? So we are using the container as a container. We can say that is Docker. So for that, the one user is there. We are using the API gateway container component and the another component. So on the container, the our application will be the deploy. As the same place there is in the one server host machine, there will be the more than any container, like more than two, three, four, n number of container are there. So we are using the in a simpler word, we can say that our application will be the isolated from one another application. So that is a great part. If in the one application there will be the any kind of effect is there, we can't able to manage that. It will be in the monolithic architecture. But yeah, if it will be the deploy on the Docker container or in the containerized technology, that will be very good for us to manage that and the checking the health issue as the same point, right? Managing the Kubernetes, managing the containers easily with the Kubernetes services. So orchestration is there. So that is the same place, but we are using the Azure Kubernetes services, AKS in the smaller term. We can abbreviation AKS is there. So we are using the some Node.js. Like the language is that totally up to the developer. It can be the .NET, it can be the Python, it can be the JavaScript, it can be the Node.js, Java, any kind of application are there, any kind of Spring Boot, like Hibernate, any kind of we can say the framework are there. But the main thing, it is a container, and the more than one container are there, we are using the Kubernetes services for the orchestration or for the management purposes. Yeah, the container orchestration, what we are doing on the container orchestration, we are doing the scheduling, we are the entity, we are doing that. Okay, the all the container are the isolated from the in all each other. Health monitoring, we are monitoring the health, we are doing the scalability, rolling update. Okay, for the rolling update we are using that some kind of automation tool. So if let's suppose I have a more than 100 plus server, so for that I didn't go in like go for one server and develop that. Okay, this is the update, upgrade, please upgrade that thing. For same place, same thing I have to do for 100 like a server at the same time. But if I using some kind of automation tool, that will be very easy for the me to like, okay, so on a single click I can manage that thing and I can do that. Okay, for a failure, like as I mentioned, okay, if we have three microservices, one is not running, so there will be the failure is there, that is pre-check that thing, okay, this will be the failure, so that create the some same that kind of architecture microservices, and that will be the up and running. So that's the main key point, we can say container orchestration, that the point is I be seen so that. Okay, so banking services, as I mentioned, okay, we will be seeing these banking services. The banking services are there, we are using the monitoring, server security analysis, distributed caching, message brokers, relational databases, document and database streaming services, storage services, monitoring. So this is the main backend services, or we can say banking services. These all the services will be the running in the backend. So yeah, that is the main key thing. Okay, and the automatic deployment, we can say that we are using some kind of automation tool via the CSD pipeline is there, Azure GitHub Action is there. Via using that thing, we can use that, and we can manage the thing at the same time. Okay, so we are like we are working with the dev environment, we will be pushing that code in the application code repo. On the version control, it can be the git github or a vs code in the cloud. Okay, or a devops kind of thing, we are using them, making the package using the devops as well. Okay, and we will the push the code in that at that place. Jenkins is there, Ansible it is there, Terraform is there, Chief is Grafana, many tool are there, any DevOps tool are there. That is it, like in this pipeline, the DevOps is the main thing is there, because Jenkins, Ansible, Azure DevOps, that all the tool will be the helping us to integrate, or we can say build the CSD pipeline. And this is the CI, like a continuous integration. This is a continuous delivery or a deployment part thing. Here we will be the managing that stuff. Okay, for running services, we will be using the Microsoft Azure. Using the Microsoft Azure, we can manage the services in a very efficient manner. We can check the health monitoring on the health monitoring of the things. So that's the thing. And the app management, app configuration are there. So this is the whole and whole, the we can say the architecture of the, yeah, this is whole and all the architecture of the cloud native applications on the top of Azure things. So that's the main thing. If you have any kind of query or any doubt, feel free to share here. Okay. Yeah, if anybody has any kind of query or doubt, please let us share with me. I am here to like resolve your doubt. Okay. Okay. It seems like okay, you have not any doubts. Okay, with this note, I conclude the session. For the upcoming season, you can, like I can say that okay, uh, we are doing this thing in like some month or 2 month. We are doing this kind of session, or we can say workshop kind of things. So feel free to join us. Okay, yeah. If you have any kind of query or doubt or any kind of stuff, I will be sharing my socials here. So yeah. If you have any query or any doubt, go through like you can contact on me on this my social. I am quite active in LinkedIn and mm, Twitter, so you can follow me there. And like if you have any doubt or any query, feel free to share that. Okay, I will share the link with you. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt or any query, feel free to share with me. I am here to like helping with you this thing. And the main thing, if anybody has like a doubt or what is a cloud and how we can use that, any kind of query, any kind of stuff, feel free to share here. I am here. Okay. So this is the link on that. You can find their Twitter, Instagram, and all the stuff. So if you have any doubt or any query regarding Cloudnative, Azure technology, feel free to share there. I will be happy to help you. So yeah, with if you have a do not doubt, we'll be conclude this session. So yeah, thank you so much for joining in. Um, yeah, yeah, thank you so much for joining in. We will meet you in the like next session. So if you want any kind of another session or like let's suppose like I want to get more into cloud native application on how the cloud native application is deployed or developed. So if you have any kind of doubt or query, feel free to chat me on the like LinkedIn, Twitter, anything. And if you have any kind of doubt or query, feel free to share on like chat box. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. See you.